Hello everybody and welcome back to Dr. Ghost Games. I hope y'all are excited for the weekend and I hope y'all are also having a good time on World of Warships Legends. I thank you all for stopping by the channel. If you guys are new viewers here, don't forget to go down and hit that subscribe button. Actually, no. Hit the subscribe button if you actually enjoy this video. Watch it all the way through. I think you're going to like it. Now, I'm going to be in the Tier IV American Battleship, the USS New York. Now, what do we know about the New York? Well, it has 14-inch guns. So yeah, it's a pretty good ship. It's an American dreadnought. And yeah, before we get into the gameplay, well, the gameplay is going to be running in the background while I talk a little bit about the history of the ship. So, the USS New York, or the keel of the New York, was laid down on September 11th, 1911. And her hull was launched on the 30th of October, 1912. And she was commissioned in the United States Navy on May 15th, 1914. Now, at the time when she was commissioned, the New York had the biggest guns in the United States Navy. She had 14-inch guns. Now, the ship that came out right after the New York was the USS Texas, which I'm sure you guys know is also in the game, and she is a New York-class battleship. Now, what do we know about the Texas? Well, she has excellent AA. She has better firing arcs, not arcs, but better firing angles on her guns. Her turret is a bit further back, so you can actually get that turret off a lot more easier without going fully broadside, which is a huge advantage in the Texas. And I actually do prefer the Texas over the New York. And I'm going to get into that later. But I need to start talking a little bit about the history a bit more. Now, the New York, throughout World War I, was actually in a task force. And she actually helped the British Grand Fleet during World War I against the Germans. So mainly she was actually an escort ship. She helped out the British throughout World War I and the Allies, of course, pretty much all of them. And she took a part in a few battles, nothing significant, just a few skirmishes, really, not even battles. So she wasn't really doing all that much in World War I. I mean, she took actually a torpedo to her propulsion and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, she really didn't have anything significant going on in World War I for her. Neither, I don't think, in World War II. However, as we know, the USS Texas actually did manage to take part in the invasion of Normandy during D-Day, and she was actually a firing platform. She fired on the beaches, and there's some pretty cool stories about that as well. You guys should go check out. I recommend watching Drac NFL. He has some very good history videos, not just on the New York, but on the Texas, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, the New York's not a very interesting ship when it comes to history. I just call it the FDR's bathtub. If you guys aren't aware, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which was the president of the United States during World War II, yeah, he was from New York. So, I mean, this thing looks like a bathtub, so I just call it FDR's bathtub. I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, not much else to talk about the ship. She was a pretty interesting ship, but nothing really crazy happened with her. She took part in a few quote-unquote battles, more like skirmishes, and yeah, she was just mainly, you know, just sailed around helping people out, and that's basically it. There wasn't really much significant about her in her war service. But she did actually earn 3 battle stars, so that's pretty good, I guess. But the Texas, I think, earned like 11 or 12. Don't count me on that. But I know the Texas got a lot, because the Texas actually did a lot of things during World War II. So yeah, pretty significant stuff right there. But without further ado, let's talk about the gameplay now. We absolutely crapped on somebody a second ago. I think we dead struck a battleship, if I remember correctly. I mean, this ship, man, you cannot sneeze on these 14-inch American guns, especially at this tier. I mean, these 14-inch guns are just big enough and just small enough to not really overpen much. These guns are deadly, and if you guys aim exactly where you need to be aiming, these guns will have no problem penetrating cruisers, battleships, and destroyers if you have high explosive loaded. These guns are great, and if you guys use them well, you aim at weak parts, and you know where everybody's weak points are, shoot at broadside targets, you'll have a fun time. As long as you don't screw up yourself. You got to keep your angling and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you guys are noticing at the top of the screen, there is a carrier on our team and the carrier on the enemy team. This would have been a great match if I was in the Texas. If I was in Texas this match, I probably would have lived. Spoiler alert, I do die at the end, unfortunately, because I can't deal with the carrier. Carrier squadrons is easy. The AA is still pretty good, but it's not as good as the Texas, guys. The Texas's AA is absolutely bonkers, because the Texas is like a modernized version of the Texas. It has a lot more AA. It's the World War II version. This Texas we see in here, I believe, is the post-World War II version. This is the version without all of the 40mm Bofors and all that stuff. So yeah, not as good AA compared to the Texas, but it's still fantastic. I still prefer the Texas. It's premium. It's got better firing angles on its guns because one of the guns is further back, which means you don't have to go completely broadside to get all your turrets off, etc. However, if you are in the New York angling away, kiting away, you can actually get all your guns to bear a lot more easier because of the fact your gun is further forward, which means you can get it off while you're angling away from the target instead of angling towards him. So yeah, it depends what your situation is, but really most of the time I find myself angling towards the target, not away from him. So yeah, now we're up to 50,000 damage. We have 1 kill, we have a devastating strike, and I think a high caliber. Or is that a first blood? I think it might be a first blood. I don't remember. I have a very hard time reading my screen, guys, if you guys aren't aware, because of the fact that I am on currently a smaller device right now, looking at the screen, and it's very small, so I cannot read everything, unfortunately. But I believe it's a first blood, if I remember correctly. But yeah. Now, Farragut, I load HE for him. Fortunately, he actually does get brought down to no HP. Because our battleship actually does screw him up a bit. I think our cruiser does as well. But yeah, we take him out, getting our second kill of the match, 51,000 damage. Not bad at all. We're switching back over to armor piercing because, you know, look at this. We got a broadside New York. We got a cruiser backing up on no HP whatsoever. And once we get our guns reloaded, we are going to be able to absolutely smack this Kirov. Now, as you guys can notice there, my propulsion is knocked out because, you know, carriers are a thing. And unfortunately, I'm not a Texas, so my AA just cannot do as much compared to that ship. I wish I was in a Texas this match, but unfortunately I wasn't. I want to take a New York out for a spin. It's been a while, and I actually still enjoy this ship. It might be my bias kicking in, because I love all American ships, really. There's not really many I don't like, except the Atlanta. I don't like the Atlanta. I really don't care for it. The only time I care for the Atlanta is if I'm fighting destroyers or carriers. Otherwise, it just struggles against everything else. But yeah, there's some American ships I don't really care for too much, but yeah, this is just a classic American dreadnought, and I love the guns on them. The armor's okay, but it's not the best. It's got so many weak points, like 19mm of bow and stern armor, which means basically almost every single battleship at this tier can overmatch it, which is a huge weakness for the Americans. So if you aim anywhere on the American dreadnoughts from tier 4 down, you could basically pen the crap out of their bow, because 19mm is not good at all, and a 14-inch guns will go straight through that crap like butter. So yeah, don't be surprised if you get citadels through the bow too. It can happen. Now, we are about to shoot a full salvo off because, you know, we left him on just enough, because that's what we always do. We always pull Spartans, it seems. If you guys get that reference, you guys are obviously loyal Spartacans out there. But yeah, it's just unfortunate when you leave a cruiser, or any ship for that matter, on just no HP. So he can get a salvo off and get a fire. Or, yeah, actually, that was a carrier's bombs getting a fire there. But it's just unfortunate, to say the least. Now, we're about to get another salvo off on this New York. This New York should be dead. At that angle, he should be freaking dead. But no, he isn't, because we pull a Spartan again, leave him on just enough to get away. And yeah, it's unfortunate as hell again, so now we gotta wait a very freaking annoying 30 seconds for these guns to reload. And it's just, ugh. We gotta sit here and burn and burn and burn, get harassed by a carrier. Only if we were in a Texas this match. But, I mean, we're doing pretty damn good. We're up to 70,000 damage. I mean, we're definitely doing our role here. We got 3 kills. We got a few citadels. We got actually a bunch of planes shot down. Although we don't have the greatest AA, it still is AA at the end of the day. And he still will shoot down some planes. So, but not as much. If I was in my Texas, I guarantee you guys I would have been slapping down plane after plane after plane after plane. It's just the AA on that ship even has some better AA than some tier 5s and even some tier 6s. So very strong ship at this tier, especially when you're in carrier lobbies. But yeah, now we're angling away, and look at this. Look at these firing arcs. They're a lot better. See, because we're angling away, our turret is further in the front, which means it's actually better when we're actually going away, and we actually get our 4th kill of the match. And unfortunately, we put out the fire because I thought, why not, you know. But unfortunately, I think me putting out that fire is what's going to actually kill me here, because I have damage con it, which means my damage con is going to be on cooldown. And what's going to happen here? Well, the carrier is going to come after us with his dive bombers here very shortly. I'm pinging the map for our carrier, hopefully to speed up and get out there and spot that freaking carrier so that way we can take him out and hopefully get our Kraken. We have 4 kills. We're only 1 kill away from a Kraken. And there's his dive bombers. We try to turn very hard to port, which port, if you guys aren't aware, is left. Starboard is right. But yeah, we're turning very hard to port to hopefully make myself a much harder target for him, for his HE bombers. When I'm coming at him, that's a lot worse. But unfortunately for me, of course, he gets a fire with like 1 bomb. Because that's my luck. Nothing I can do about that. And that won't kill me. Well, it actually might. No, it won't kill me, but it will bring me down to no HP most likely. It might kill me. I don't know. But that fire is very annoying, and he called his plane backs. He called his plane backs. He called his planes back, and he is going to send a torpedo bombing squadron at me, and that will ultimately be the demise of the New York here. Now, we tried our best. We had 4 kills. We're carrying this match all we can, but it's only a matter of time before you succumb to your injuries, and I'm unfortunately going to die here. But, I mean, hey, it's a pretty damn good match, to say the least. I was trying to hopefully dodge these torpedoes, and unfortunately, look, he just gets the luck. But it's alright. GG's to him, man, if you're watching this video. But yeah, we're going to teleport. I'm going to not teleport you, but I'm going to fast forward you guys to the end of the video here. Because there's like 2 minutes of just nothing that happens. It's not very entertaining. So yeah, I hope you all did enjoy, and I will catch you guys at the end of the video. See you there. So, yeah, here we are. We're at the end of the video, about 5 seconds left. Yeah, I told you, nothing really was going to happen. I just spectated. And yeah, we're at the end of the video. I hope you all did enjoy this video. And yeah, we had 79,000 damage, 4 kills, bunch of citadels, all this stuff. First blood, high caliber, devastating strike, fantastic match. And we did what we had to do to get the win. And yeah, GG's to everybody. I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you guys did, punch the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Like I said earlier, guys, feel free. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, peace out, stay healthy, as always.